It's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, man, we are just gonna pass the mic. We have the creators of Mad Rabbit, Salome and Oliver. They're gonna give us the game all the way from Ohio, but we might even take it over to Africa because that's where Salome is originally from. And you guys know, I want to know if this product is going to be a product for the continent. That would be major, that would be epic, and the VCs are listening. So welcome guys to the show. Who wants to start off first? Whose idea was this and why? What problem were you guys solving?
Yeah, so firstly, Salam and my name is Oliver, by the way. Salam and I met in college. We started out business together in e-commerce, actually drop shipping women's bathing suits, funny enough. So what that kind of taught us early on is the power in building a brand and the importance of having a brand and competing against some of these giants who have a lot more money to outspend you. But as far as the tattoo market and Mad Rabbit goes, I recognized a huge need for specific tattoo aftercare to be formulated, to choose the best ingredients, and to get rid of those really off-brand recognitions out of the market, like petroleum jelly and Vaseline for healing tattoos. They're actually too thick and don't let oxygen get to the fresh tattoo and are actually bad for tattoo healing. So that's kind of the one things that we focus on with Mad Rabbit, is focusing on re-educating the market on what is actually good for tattoos.
Okay, and was it because you have a bunch of tattoos and said, hey, there's not a good product out there, I can create something better?
Yeah, great question. So I actually only have 4 tattoos, one of them visible. And that's actually very common. So 70% of people who have tattoos don't have a visible one. That's kind of one of the interesting data pieces we found, and we want to be supportive of people of all kinds of tattoos. But yeah, so early on in my tattoo journey, I kind of noticed that different artists were recommending different things. Some artists recommended no tattoo aftercare at all. And that really struck me as a warning sign of a really underserved market. So Salam and I ended up creating an all-natural solution in my kitchen in college. Only 7 all-natural ingredients, and we figured out that it was way better than anything else on the market.
Okay, and tell me, some of your ingredients, it looks like all natural stuff, the shea butter, the cocoa butter. Talk about Africa. That's, that's where you can get some of the best pure stuff. So how did you guys come up with the ingredients and then mixing it and just kind of knowing how to do that for folk? Are you guys chemists by
No.
training?
So Oliver's mom actually has years of apothecary experience. So she helped us pick those initial first 7 ingredients. So it's cocoa butter, shea butter, calendula oil, lavender, frankincense, beeswax, and sweet almond oil. So those are the 7 that we use. And I guess it was also through trial and error. So we spent a lot of time doing research with our customers and seeing what ingredients we should, I guess, put more of in and what we should take out. So for example, when we first started, people kept saying the scent was too strong. So initially started by removing, I guess, putting less of the frankincense and lavender in there to make it smell better and less strong. And then other feedback we got was like the tins would be damaged too easily. So then we got stronger tins. So basically all of it was through customer feedback while we were cooking in Oliver's apartment.
Okay, no, that's great to have moms, give that. Now, you guys, it sounds like you guys might be friends, in serial entrepreneur. Like this might just be a journey. Like, hey, we're gonna create a business, and we're gonna just bring in family and friends. How close are you? You guys are really friends. This is not just for PR hype. How far back do you guys go? And is it Sunday dinners at whose house?
Yeah, Salam and I actually met freshman year of college. So that's going on. That would have been in 2015. So a long time ago now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But we joined a business fraternity together. So that's kind of where we learned that we were like-minded, and we're both hustlers and we're really had a good business mind. So that definitely has been kind of the cornerstone of our friendship over the years. But actually since graduation, I moved on to New York City to do mergers and acquisitions consulting. And Salam, I'll let you kind of tell a little bit about the path you went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my e-commerce, I guess, background kind of started off of doing research on Google and YouTube. So there was one winter break where I kind of was bored and wanted to look into e-commerce and blockchain, and wasn't something that I could easily get into, and stumbled upon e-commerce, and started by starting a t-shirt company. And that wasn't really that big. I ended up selling like 12 t-shirts, ended up shutting the business down because it wasn't really that profitable. And I was just getting my feet wet in terms of customer acquisition and how to market to other people. And after that ended, I reached out to Oliver about starting a women's swimsuit company together. And then Oliver is basically the genius behind our branding. So like our names and then our logo. So he thought of the name Ella Harding, which was his dog's name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black lab.
Harding was his brother's middle name. So we launched a swimsuit company called Ella Harding Swimwear. Had that for probably about 7 or 8 months, and ended up selling it actually for a few $1,000s, which was big to us while we were in college, because like all college students rarely have any money. So it was nice having that sudden influx of cash to spend. And then after we sold that, we were looking for something new to do. And then we ended up landing on Mad Rabbit. But before that, I guess during the summer, we had the swimsuit company. I was a e-commerce finance intern at Unilever, which is a CPG brand out of New Jersey that owns brands like Axe, Dove, Ben & Jerry's. So I learned more about e-commerce there through about like customer marketing, acquisition, that kind of stuff. And that's where my knowledge expanded.
Now you say CBD, that's,
CPG,
oh,
consumer.
CPG.
Yeah.
Okay. You see where my head was at. I was like, wait, hold on. Is that the next product? Mixing the two. I'm really going to ask the question now that I've, messed up and stumbled upon that.
That's Fun Balm.
We can repair your tattoo and help you go to sleep.
Exactly.
No, this is beautiful. Where do you guys see, right now, marketing online is a great thing. A lot of us, are addicted to Shark Tank. Even if we don't have cable, we find a way to watch it. Could this be a Shark Tank play? Shark Tank play. Maybe it's in play. They can't say. So you guys stay tuned, because we can't, mum's the word, right? Online marketing. How has Instagram and maybe TikTok and YouTube helped you promote to your audience?
I guess from the very start, Instagram and Facebook has been our bread and butter. So all of our e-commerce, I guess, marketing techniques or like knowledge came from Google and YouTube. So we spent hours and hours on researching other brands like Dollar Shave Club, Harry's, basically clubs that brands that people like you and I use, and looking at how they market and trying to mimic that marketing in terms of reaching our customers.
Yeah, on Instagram, it's kind of cool to go back and see how our brand has really evolved. So when we first started out and as we were growing to, I think we grew to about 15,000 followers posting only black and white photos. It was just something we thought was good for the aesthetic at the time. And, it was a change we made as we kind of found our brand and our brand vibe. Shout out to our creative director, Garen, out of Los Angeles, who's really helped us really come into our own. But we're really excited about the growth we've seen. And, we try to walk the line between edgy and provocative, but not offending. So that's kind of where our brand shines, is on Instagram.
Okay, something tells me you guys have mothers that, you're like, I want my mother to see this and not have to do too much explaining. That's what it seems like to me. Besides that, how has, the VC angel crowdfunding, have you guys done any of that, or interested, in the, those avenues to get your started and get that money?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to be, right? Especially when you have a brand where we feel that we have a superior product and we just need to get in as many tattooed people's hands as possible. Financial resources are definitely important to achieve that. So we've had a lot of talks with angels that have gone great. There's a lot of interest, not only from the business community, but also the professional sports communities, in investing from an angel perspective. And on top of that, we're kind of shopping around venture capital firms as well. We're heading into a full raise for 2021. So we're kind of looking for a VC lead on that. But yeah, to answer your question, it's kind of a combination, I guess, is the end goal.
Okay. Now, if someone's listening to this, just because I'm part of I'm a very small member of Florida Funders, and I just have access. They go after tech plays, but VC is something we learned in Seattle that it's really not that difficult if you have a good idea and you're solving a problem. How can people reach out to say, hey, I'd like to hear more information? Where's your pitch deck? And, to kind of learn more for those who are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would just caveat your point. VCs can be, really easy to land once you've found the fit. But I think that's the largest struggle we've come across. There's definitely a lot of interest, but we want to make sure we're adding strategic partners who have, the skill set that we don't and can really help us, turn into something greater. So, we're always happy to take those kind of calls, whether it's with an angel or a VC. But happy to field those contact inquiries on our website, madrabbittattoo.com.
Okay, because I mean, when the vultures come, it definitely has to be a good fit. And are you guys looking to, sell 100% or really work this business, for 5, 10, maybe a lifetime?
Yeah, I mean, for Salam and I, it's pretty vital that we maintain control of the business. We've started this from the ground up from the beginning, and we want to see it through to the end. And we think there's a lot of runway and a lot of people to help along the way. So yeah, we're definitely trying to keep it under our control.
Okay. And I don't know why I'm thinking, hey, if LeBron James holds this up and, rubs it, the conversation it changes, having that influencer, support your product. How have you guys gone after influencers, and has that worked for you?
That's a big play that we're making a big push on for 2021, is getting more influencers, so people in the NFL, people in the NBA, and people in MMA. So recently we've done shoots with people like Ashton Harris, who's a goalie for the women's national soccer team. We've had the Raiders running back, Josh Harris, which we had a shoot
Josh Jacobs
in Las Vegas actually this past week, and then ended up going hiking with him. We've had a few MMA stars like Cheeto and Henry Corrales. And then we had another MMA person last week named Walt Harris, and then a couple female MMAs. Do you know their names?
I don't. Kellen, so basically our strategy is to identify these tattoo subcultures and create a bunch of really cool content around them. So, I mean, if you turn on any mixed martial arts fight, there's a 90% chance that at least one of the fighters is tattooed. So we view that as an awesome opportunity for us to create some really badass content and, really hook in those UFC fans.
No, that's awesome. Influencers can be expensive. They can cost you your whole, marketing budget. And I'm one who represents some, and so I really know and I feel for it. Or they want, a big part of your business. Is there any package that you have for influencers that say, hey, I have tattoos, I'd love to support, even if they what I call micro influencers, that maybe they have 100,000 on YouTube or 1 million on Instagram, kind of like Fashion Nova is, let me send all the Fashion Nova type girls to you. How would they reach out? Is there an application, and is it for the masses, or is it just for a small few?
So our influencer outreach is mostly done through our Instagram DMs. So if we see someone we like, we email them, or if they have a way to contact them through their Instagram, some of them have their emails attached. We end up emailing them. And then the ways that they could reach out to us is we have a partner at madrabbittattoo.com. It's one of our emails for influencers to reach out to us through, or they could just email support@madrabbittattoo.com, or also DM us through our Instagram.
Okay, and besides having a tattoo, what's a requirement as far as followers? How many followers should they have?
So we do a range of micro to, of course, the mega influencers. So something we've noticed is that like the people who are micro influencers, their follower base are more attached to what I guess who their following says and like what their routines are. So we've seen a lot of success with that. So anyone from 10K plus is someone that we would love to work with.
Oh, okay. Awesome. No, that's very, humbling. And I'm actually want to send you somebody, former guest and a new friend, the Hustle Goddess, and which will segue me into my next question because she is a New Yorker, an Italian New Yorker who actually lives in Kenya and became a TV personality and does all this TV. So is Africa a play? Can Africa at this point get Mad Rabbit?
Africa is always a play. We've shipped to over 50 countries, and I know that there's some African countries on the list, so we can definitely get her some content and some product.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our only distribution right now is in the United States, so it will take a week or two to get there. But we absolutely sell internationally.
Okay. Yeah. And, it might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. It's worth the wait when the product is great. And I'm glad to hear that just because, we look at America and Amazon. Oh man, how has it changed our life? But in Africa, you have Jumia, where people used to laugh at me. They say, "Oh, you invested in Jumia?" I said, "No, I just bought stock. I didn't invest. Don't make it bigger than it is." But Jumia, when I bought it for under $5, is now over $50, and people are like, "Yeah." I said,
Now they're starting to listen.
They're starting to listen. It's all right. They're stuck in the mustard trying to catch up. But being from Oakland, we're used to people trying to catch up. And hey, how did you know that? It's a gift from God. That's all that I can say. With the success that you guys have had and the success that you're going to have, because the best is yet to come, what are some community givebacks that you guys are doing or that you want to do in the future?
That's a great question. So we do our best to stay as relevant as possible. I guess a good example would be, I'm not sure if you remember the Nashville RV explosion that happened a couple months ago. So we saw on CNN that one of the 5 or 10 businesses that was completely decimated by the explosion was a tattoo parlor. So kind of in rapid time, Salam and I got together and we made a point to become the top donor for getting the shop rebuilt, sent them a ton of free products so that they have stocked shelves when they start again. Really just trying to be always helping out and always relevant in the community.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome. Something tells me, Oliver, you might be going for sainthood. There may be sainthood or politics in your future. I don't know which one it
Polar
is.
opposites, right?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, we need the saints to try to become the politicians. Would they make it? That part we don't know. Now, as far as, documentation, are you guys looking at maybe co-authoring a book or putting a documentary together to show how, two guys, it's hard for guys sometimes to get along and do business and, to stay, just level-headed because, you got the testosterone just going. So, anything, books or collaborations, courses together to kind of just talk, about the process that you guys have gone through.
I don't see any books in my future, but one way that I would love to give back, I guess, to young entrepreneurs is, I guess, giving them a chance or a way to somehow access the resources that I had access to. So like on Google and YouTube, because there are a lot of people out there who repackage these courses and try to charge you money for it. And some of these kids out there end up spending thousands of dollars to buy these repackaged courses that actually don't help them out. So I could see in my future like a foundation or a school to help, I guess, teach people the basics of e-commerce and the basics of research, and so that way they can start their own business in the future.
Okay. I mean, I'd love to see that. I mean, everybody is an expert nowadays, and everyone's a coach and a philanthropist and an investor. And if you're on Clubhouse, you're all of those things and then some. How has the Clubhouse app helped you guys market?
Honestly, I just go on Clubhouse to listen to what people are saying. I really haven't taken any advice from it because, like you said, everyone on there is, or not everyone, but a lot of people on there like a self-proclaimed guru or expert. And some of those people are people that you have to stay away from to be successful because the information they give out might not be accurate or it could probably lead you down a rabbit hole that you probably won't find the answers you're looking for. So as of now, Clubhouse, I'm just a listener on the side and I haven't really given a thought to giving people advice on the app yet because I guess of the bad experience or like the bad information I've heard people give out through the app.
Okay. I've heard great information, but I just like to listen, and sometimes it bothers me because I'm a shy guy. I know you can't tell it, but I just kind of like to learn, because when you're in the room with, Michael Orvowitz and Van Jones and Steve Stout and E40, I just want to learn and say,
Yeah.
hey, how did you do it?
You
And
caught them in rooms because I haven't seen them yet.
oh yeah. They've all been in rooms together, and I've had conversations. I went to the Harvard of the South, Grambling State University, and have an interesting life even prior to that. And so I've been able to talk with E40, and he's a very just mellow guy. But you put his game in the room with all these other folks. I mean, Michael used to run Hollywood, and so there's plenty of people. The thing about Clubhouse. Here's a tip. It's who your circle is, and really how do you get in whoever invited you into their circle if they're prominent. My person who invited me is a very well-known person, and I want to be in their circle. But I also, how do I get to other circles? Because there's a whole area of Clubhouse. People are like, hey, if you just know Black people, nah, there's a whole other side. There's an Asian side of Clubhouse, and it just shows us how we kind of need to intermingle. And I think sometimes I like the VC stuff because I like to listen and hear what the trends are. So when I do get two pennies together, I can say, okay, I want to help this person so we can help our business and grow. So yeah, you follow me on there. If I can help you out, feel free. Oliver, is Clubhouse for you, or are you kind of like, I don't have time for that, I'm creating?
I actually think that there's a ton of value in the instantaneous conversation that it offers. I mean, it really gets the experts at your fingertips. And I think it's not surprising, but I think it's really cool that some of these people take the time to share their knowledge. Salam, I totally agree with you. There's some nonsensical people on there, but I also think that there's a really good group on Clubhouse that is really looking to change people's lives. So long term, I mean, I think that app is genius, and I find myself on it probably 30 minutes a day, just seeing what kind of rooms are active. And like Salam's point, like I don't necessarily take everything from it, but it at least gets my mind thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And you guys, if you're watching, you can see their names and then you can follow them. And, maybe Mad Rabbit will have its own, at one point, profile on there. But, check in, especially if you like this content. I want to give you guys the last word. So, if you want to leave the audience with anything, I'm going to tell them, hey, links are in the description box. Go purchase some product for those of us who have, tattoos, and, see how it works. And before I give you the last word in that, please let them know this is for all skin tones, because that will be I have more melanin, and I need, and I need this and I need that. So while you get the last word, please share that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Mad Rabbit is for all skin tones. Like, I'm a black male by myself, and I also use Mad Rabbit every single day. I just got a tattoo last week, and I use it on it every single day because I want to make sure it doesn't fade and also pop as much as possible.
Awesome, Kellen. Yeah. So I first of all, I want to thank you for the time. I guess the message I'd like to leave the audience with here is that yes, we do make some awesome, badass tattoo aftercare, but the power and the strength of our brand is really in promoting storytelling and individuality. So if you do check out our pages, look for some really inspiring and exciting content around everything from MMA to sports marketing to tattoo tours with your favorite chef. We have a lot in the books, and looking forward to seeing you over on our socials.